Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another goal making video. This video is going to talk about a few ways which you can prepare for the upcoming patch, which is 9.1.5. Now, for the previous patches in 9.0.5 as well as 9.1, I made a video talking about a few ways in terms of gold making and other ways in which you can just prepare for that upcoming patch. So this video is going to be for the newest one, which is hopefully going to be coming out within the next few months. But this is going to be pertaining to 9.1.5, and currently it is the 6th of September. So if you're not watching this video right away, or even if, tomorrow when this video actually goes live, if we get some more information, I will make sure to talk about it in the comments, anything like that. But as of now, September 6th, I'm going to be talking about what we have. And without further ado, we are going to get right into all these ways in which you can prepare for the new patch. So I've kind of categorized these things in two different subjects. So the first one is going to be like the gold crafters. So if you're, doing a lot of profession work, doing a lot of auction house flipping, that type of stuff, this is going to pertain mostly to you. And then also I'm going to be talking about the gold farmers. So if you're somebody who normally gathers, does a lot of raw gold methods, stuff like that, then this is going to pertain to you as well. But to get started, we are first going to be talking about gold crafters, and the first thing we're going to be talking about is the new glyphs that are coming to 9.1.5. So if you guys aren't aware, glyphs are currently cosmetic items which Inscriptionist can craft inside of the game, and somebody would buy this item to apply to themselves, and it normally gives you some type of cosmetic change. A very popular one, for example, is shamans. Traditionally, you have the ghost wolf, which, is your kind of like faster form, but there is a spectral raptor glyph that will allow you, instead of being a wolf, you become a raptor. There's also a few other glyphs which change the color of your fire if you are a warlock. There's also a few that change, kind of the animation of something or anything like that. So with this new patch, we have 7 new glyphs that are coming into the game, and they all reflect a different travel form for druids. First of all, I think this is very important for many things. So far in Shadowlands, we haven't had any type of glyphs. So right now, the fact that we're about to get 7 is awesome. And also, these are all brand new travel forms for druids. So people are definitely going to want these because they're brand new, they're special, and everybody doesn't want to look the same. So definitely, if you are an inscriptionist, this is something you're going to be wanting to look out for. And the big thing is that a lot of these require reputation. Right now, I'm just looking at the list, and currently there is one glyph that actually uses Legion Reputation. So if you are an inscriptionist who has not played during Legion or gotten reputation during Legion, you're going to want to go get honored with the Dreamweavers, which is, once again, a rep instead of Legion. So that is kind of a standout thing, is that you are going to need a Legion rep for one of these glyphs. The other ones, a lot of them require just max Shadowlands inscription, but we do have 2 of them that required revered with the Wild Hunt. So these are Shadowlands reputations, but if you're not up to revered yet, this is something that you're going to want to start working on now. And lastly, there is one which requires honored with the Court of Night. So definitely, if you guys are not revered or honored yet with any of those 3 factions, you're definitely going to want to check it out. The other ones so far just state that they need Shadowlands inscription, so if you do not have reputation on your inscriptionist, you definitely can still use and look forward to some new recipes. But the big thing for crafters, if you do have an inscriptionist that has not been working on reputation and you want to take advantage of these glyphs, you're definitely going to want to work on that grind right now. The next major thing we have is legendary scrapping. So coming with this new patch, players are going to be able to scrap their legendary and get back their soul ash / cinders, which they use to create that legendary. So this is actually super good for all the crafters out there because people lose their base legendary whenever this happens. So For example, right now my monk has a rank 3 legendary. So right now it's a headpiece, but I believe for a monk right now that the best in slot is actually a wrist piece for Night Fae monk. So what I could do is I can scrap this rank 3 helmet. I will get all of the soul ash which I used to craft that, and the helmet will disappear. But then, now I have all the ash that I need to craft that wrist piece. I will still have to buy that base item wrist, but now I can recraft my rank 3 without having to step a foot into Torghast. I have a full return. So of course, that example is a bit flawed because nobody is probably going to be recrafting rank 3s, but due to balance changes or somebody who just accidentally created the wrong legendary, or they want to make a new legendary for any particular case, now they have the ability to regain all that soul ash / cinders and does not have to go into Torghast, which means they're going to be more willingly to actually make that change. So normally if you're somebody who created a rank 4 or have multiple rank 6s, then, you don't really want to delete them because you've put in so much effort for them. So the ability to just scrap it and get all of that soul ash back so you did not waste your Torghast time, then you can just go and buy your other legendary and then craft right there. So this means for crafters that the sales might increase. For the people who, want to change their legendary, it's a lot easier to, and everything like that. So we definitely might see an increase in legendary sales. Talking about legendaries sales in general, every time a patch comes out, players return, which means there's going to be an increase of volume in players once again, which just overall increases legendary sales as well as everything else selling. A lot more active players, there's a lot more active potential buyers as well. Another big thing to talk about, which this is going to kind of go into the gold farmer / gold crafter type of thing, because for gold crafters, I also include the auction house flippers. The next big thing we're going to be talking about is the ability to now solo queue for island expeditions. If you guys are not familiar with island expeditions, these were added in BFA, and they're kind of like a minigame type of thing where you have to gather stuff, but what you can get out of this is pets, mounts, and the big thing for gold makers is transmog pieces, which you can sell on the auction house. So right now, what has kind of happened in the past is these are queued up by players. You need at least like a group of 3 in order to do these island expeditions, and so whenever BFA ended, a lot of people completely forgot about them. So getting a group together was very, very difficult. So everything that came out of those island expeditions got increasingly pricey. So for example, I've made a previous video about this, but I was able to buy pieces from the island expeditions, like transmog pieces, for about 800 gold to, let's say, 5,000 gold, and I've been able to resell them for 30,000 to up to like 60,000 gold a piece. So that's just the reasoning that you cannot solo them at this point, so that price went up very, very fast. But with this new patch, you are going to be able to solo them, which means a lot more people are going to be able to do this a lot more easily, which we will probably see the prices of these transmog drop again. Now, in terms of going back to that 800 gold, 5k gold, I do not think it's going to get that low, but we might see, a few thousand come off of that whenever we have a lot more people running that. So because of this, I will say if you're somebody who has stockpiled a ton of transmog, whether the fact that you farmed it or you bought it really cheap, you might want to consider dropping it on the auction house and maybe cutting the cost a little bit lower if you're trying to get that desperate sale before this patch comes out. I mean, we still probably have, at least a little bit over a month before we see anything with this patch or it gets released. But if you are somebody who, kind of bought it in like a more riskier sense and you really need to make some profit, being a little bit more lenient on the price could probably help you with some more sales before this patch comes out. For example, if you're trying to sell some pieces for, 50k, maybe dropping it to about 30k or something like that can help you. But of course, once this comes out, you're probably going to see a price decrease. But I will say probably, the hype of Island Expeditions is going to happen whenever people are talking about it at the beginning of patch. And then people, are going to get their mounts, people are going to get their pets, and, Island Expeditions are kind of going to get left in the dust again. So I don't think this price drop will be permanent. I do see it kind of, dipping for a little bit at the start of the patch, and then, a few months in, going back up as people, forget about the expeditions again. But something to be aware of if you are holding on to pieces or you're somebody who actively flips them, be cautious because they're going to be easier to get within a next month or so. So transitioning into the fully gold farming type of stuff, the first thing I want to talk about is the new starter gear. So if you guys aren't aware of, they have basically created a new type of starting gear for every single type of armor. So what this means is the current white, starter gear that you get whenever you create a new character, it is going to be unobtainable anymore. All of that new starting gear is going to take over for the current ones right now, and they're no longer going to be in the game. So if you guys were not aware, some of this starting gear is actually actively sold on the auction house in forms of Transmog. I believe the most popular one is the Worgen starting gear. So, a lot of people just create a level 1 Worgen or a level 1 whatever, get that starting gear, send it over to their bank tune and sell it right there and there. Of course, it's a very slow market, but it is very possible to get sales with this, and normally it goes for some pretty good money because people like the looks, people want that transmog. So with any of this starting gear, whether people find it popular or not, once this new patch comes out, all of this current basic white starting gear is going to be removed from the game. So even in forms of if it looks ugly, that really doesn't matter because at some point it's going to become an item that's unobtainable. So now you have that rarity factor to it. So what I would say to you guys, if you can, create a Blood Elf, let's say a Blood Elf Warrior, get that starting gear, send it over to a bank tune that has a guild bank, shove it in the guild bank, do this with all the races, all the classes, whatever you need to do, and then, forget about that guild bank until the patch comes out, a few months later, maybe next year, you'll remember that you have it, and potentially a lot of the stuff can be worth a lot of gold. So this is something that, you have plenty of time to do. Maybe you create one character every single day, send the stuff over, delete it, rinse and repeat. Yes, of course, this is going to be a long-term selling process, but, you can at least say, hey, I have that starting gear that was removed in, patch 9.1.5 a few years down the line. So I 100% recommend this. It's of course going to be one of those things that you're going to be holding on to for a long time. It's a long-term play, but if you can do it now, why not take advantage of it? Then we have the big form factor of a lot of alt friendliness is coming into the game. A big one is the Maw skip intro. So, traditionally right now, if you have a brand new level 48 or 50, you have to do that classic Maw intro to get unlock Orbos and to get into the Shadowlands. But thankfully, with this new patch, if you have completed it on one character prior, you are able to skip this, which does not seem like a huge thing, but if you are somebody who has an alt army that they're trying to, level up, then, skipping that 30-minute to an hour kind of intro is going to save you a ton of time. Have 4 characters, and that can save you 2 to 4 hours, depending on how fast you can do it. So this is definitely going to be very nice for you if you're trying to level a lot of alts currently. If you don't have all of the professions leveled up, once you have that time, you can get your character straight into the Shadowlands, as long as they're level 48. So then you can learn those professions without having to do that storyline. So, a lot more convenient stuff is going to be happening since you can skip that intro. Also, if you are somebody who does raw gold with the mission table, the ability to swap and trade anima between covenants and between alts is going to be very, very beneficial. And also the fact that you can gain renown and skip the, campaign with alts is going to be also super sweet. So, all of this just kind of refers back to that alt friendliness. So whether you have a ton of alts to do callings for raw gold, you have a ton of alts to farm rare items, a ton of alts to do mission tables, whatever it is, the ability to get more level 60s easier is definitely going to be awesome. So that's just a few of the alt friendliness stuff that I'm going to talk about, but in general, it's just going to be a lot easier to get that to level 60. Also, another big one is the ability to upgrade your heirlooms. So if you are somebody who wants to invest the gold into doing that, you're also going to be able to get heirlooms leveled up, so you can wear them all the way to level 60, which once again will help with that leveling process as well. But yeah, guys, that is my very quick list. That was about, 6 to 7 things of just what I want to talk about with 9.1.5. It's still very early into the PTR, which means that, stuff might change, stuff might get added. So feel free to always, keep a watch in the comments. I will normally always create a pinned comment. If there's changes, if I've said something that's no longer true, I will make sure to try to always update that thread. Also, if you guys want to talk about anything else which you feel might be beneficial for everybody, feel free to leave a comment. Something that I did not come up with or realized that might be good for gold making, or something that I've completely missed, feel free to let me know. Also, feel free to let me know your thoughts on kind of this preparation guide and kind of what I feel about this. So feel free to leave your own opinions as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely, if you guys haven't already, be sure to join the Discord. That's where you're going to be notified about everything going on with this channel. Also, giveaways and all that type of stuff happens inside of that Discord. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are feeling ready for 9.1.5. I hope you're excited. And, of course, have a good day.